This is all about the Rapala X-Prop. The X-Prop is a prop style bait, which is very popular. It's a very popular category in the topwater baits, in the topwater bait families. It's an easy bait to fish. You can fish it with like a jerk and stop, jerk and pause retrieve, where you just jerk your rod tip pretty hard. This thing will rip about 6 inches to a foot, depending on how hard you rip your rod. And these little props are gonna spin around like crazy and cause a commotion and spit and water up in the air and create a bubble trail. These baits can also be fished very simply with a slow, steady, straight retrieve. So you're just winding it back and it's just creating a bubble trail on the surface. These little props are spinning and just causing a commotion and they get bit. They really do shine in lakes with a lot of vegetation in them, where you're looking to fish over the top of grass beds, you're fishing around submerged vegetation. It makes those fish come out of their comfort zone in that vegetation and come up and just crush them. So you see a lot of really good tournament anglers down in Florida that have become masters with these things and fishing around lily pads and things like that, where they can get them into tight situations, even with these treble hooks on them, and catch some big key fish throughout their day using these prop style baits. Color wise, there's a whole bunch of selections, just like most hard baits in the industry. But in my opinion, these really do shine in the wilder colors if you're fishing in stained water conditions or vegetation laden conditions. Where if you're fishing on a man-made reservoir where the forage is mainly shad, the silvers and chromes come out to play. All those, the typical forage matching colors come out to play in those clear water situations, and these wild colors tend to play in more of that stained water. And just to mix things up and make things more confusing, I think these wild colors sometimes trigger a bite in any of those conditions. So I always recommend, if you're gonna try out some prop baits, to get a few different colors and just see what's working that day, what the fish seem to be reacting to the best. As far as componentry goes, with a prop bait, you're looking to make sure that these blades spin freely and they're unobstructed and they make tons of noise and commotion. All the Rapala baits are tank tested, they're messed with. These ones definitely have high-end components on it, good VMC hooks on them. They do have great split rings on them. They can be fished with braid to a leader, but with these in particular, some of my friends that I know that are really good with these style baits really tend to lean on old school regular straight monofilament. And you're relying on these little sticky sharp treble hooks to hook the fish up. But the other thing about that monofilament is so stretchy and forgiving that you tend to land more fish. Because you're using smaller treble hooks, sometimes those fish can get leverage on you and throw these baits. Having that stretchier line that's more forgiving tends to put more fish in the boat. So don't be afraid to try out some old school monofilament when you're checking these things out. Now, as far as castability goes, these things are 3/8 of an ounce, which isn't that heavy. So if you're in windy conditions, it can make these things very difficult to throw. They're really, not great on casting equipment as far as casting distance typically, but Rapala has done something special with this one, and hence why I highlighted this particular prop bait, is it's got an internal casting weight system in it. So it will aid you in getting some distance out of this, so you can go ahead and throw this on your casting equipment and make those accurate casts and put this bait in tight situations that you want to get the bait in, or you think you're going to get a quality bite. Make sure when you're checking out, when you're fishing this bait, that you're giving it a good try for the day. You're putting in some time with it, because not always is it going to get you the most bites, but it can get you the right bites. The bigger, more dominant fish in the system tend to like these wild baits and all the commotion they cause on the surface. So next time you're out shopping looking at topwaters, check out the Rapala X-Prop.